All right, welcome back. We continue right here live on the Borders and Borders Hotline. Remember, the Steelers and Ravens tomorrow, 1 o'clock on KDKA. Then right after the game, we'll be here for 2 hours. Chris Hoke and I will be taking your calls as well right here on Pittsburgh CW after the Steelers and the Ravens. Very important game early in the season. It brings us to the quarter pole of the NFL season. A lot of people want to talk, so let's get right to it. Let's go to Rick in Polish Hill. What's up, Rick? How you doing?
Good, Bob. How are you tonight?
I'm good, thanks.
Bob, out of curiosity, I was wondering, you were talking about McCutchen and possible, future payday.
Mm-hmm.
With his averages for his career of 22 homers and 79 RBIs a year, with that market value cannot be $20 million for that.
It is.
I was wondering what that might be, though.
No, it is. I compare what he's done with Jacoby Ellsbury and the contract he got from New York a few years ago. I think when you look at it,
something's wrong with the Yankees, Bob. You know that.
Huh? It doesn't matter. It's what they use to. Everyone looks at specific numbers relative to the market, and when
Jacoby Ellsbury makes $20 million a year.
Right. So why shouldn't Andrew
McCutchen? I better get my glove out of the basement. Thank you very much.
So why shouldn't Andrew McCutchen? If Jacoby Ellsbury makes $20 million a year, guess what? Andrew McCutchen deserves more. Again, I'm looking at the market. That's what I'm basing all of this on. There are a lot of guys in the game who are overpaid, but that's just what they are. And Andrew McCutchen will be in that boat. Now, whether or not someone wants to go 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, whatever the case may be, that's debatable. But I think you'll find a market for him, and I think someone will be willing to do it. All right, let's go out to Derek in Pittsburgh. Hey, Derek, how you doing?
Hi, Bob. Hey, the referees called bad calls last week. I was not happy about that. Each way they call bad penalties, each way. I don't know why you call bad penalties, or pick the flag up, or just pick the flag up, and then he called more bad penalties. So you can't do that.
Well, I mean, that's a subjective thing, Derek. You're always officials are always under a lot of scrutiny. Whatever they end up doing, a lot of people either talk about it or don't talk about it. Adam in Washington is our next destination. Hello, Adam. How are you?
Hey, Bob. How you doing?
All right. How are you?
Good. Just had a couple quick questions on Pitt football. I love the direction the program's going. But other than winning, what do you think they can do to boost attendance? And realistically, what do you believe the rest of the season will look like for Pitt?
Let me ask you something before you get off, Adam. You say you like the direction they're headed. Please elaborate on that.
Well, I mean, the recruiting classes that Coach Narduzzi is bringing in, I mean, it's not transpiring into wins yet.
Right.
I mean, the double digits, but I mean, just.
I know what you're saying. I mean, on paper it looks one way, but the results come out the other. And, eventually the two have to join and link forces. And so far we haven't seen that. Now it's year 3. I know there's more time. They have a lot of young people playing on defense especially. But at some point it has to start, showing up in the win column. And if it doesn't, then you have to ask yourself, okay, is it, we've had this argument before, is it the coaches or is it the program itself? People often call here and ask about an on-campus facility. And while I don't think that is necessarily something that will change fortunes, if they ever did that again, I would recommend having an on-campus facility somewhere in that area that would house 40,000, no more. I hear all this talk about, well, Heinz Field, they're going to, close off the top upper deck, much like the Oakland Coliseum does for baseball games, put a tarpaulin out there so no one. I don't like that look. What I do like is what I see, like, for example, Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati. You only have 40,000, 35,000, whatever the case may be. On campus, that would be a good thing. It would create a demand for tickets, and if you do have a good team, all of a sudden the demand would be real big, and you could do a lot with that. But I don't know. There's a lot to talk about there. Let's go out to Marianne, who joins us. Well, Marianne, let me get you back here. Marianne in North Huntington. Hey, Marianne, how are you?
I'm just fine, thank you.
Good.
I was just calling tonight to tell you that I was watching the President's Cup today, the golf.
Yep.
And if there is anybody tomorrow that's not wanting to watch the NFL, I think that they should turn on the President's Cup and see a group of men who are all dressed in red, white, and blue. Everybody is playing very, very well. They don't have any political agendas. They're just playing a game that they love, and they didn't need any police and riot gear. There wasn't anybody carrying any signs.
No, and here's the thing, though. The only thing I would advise you against, and I love golf and I love what the USA is doing, I think they're up 14.5 to 3.5 or something like that. They almost clinched it today, which has never happened on a Saturday. There's no drama left, Marianne. They only need 1 point, basically, to win this thing. So they have 12 matches. That should be over before it even gets started. However, I do like what you say, and the fact that the States team has done a very good job. All right, we're going to take a break here. Up against it. We'll be back right after this.